This guy, Gale Sayers, was so fast. We'll see how it turns out. I'm a sports artist. So what that means to me is that if it moves, I'll paint it. So even though it's a static thing where it's a piece of canvas and it's, kind of two-dimensional, it has to be three-dimensional in my mind to get that player to move.
Sports icons like Jerry Rice and Walter Payton hang from the walls in Bob Mueller's studio here in Nanaimo, looking as if they're ready to leap from the canvas into action. These striking paintings stem from Bob's passion for art and football that started at a very young age.
It's the funniest thing is that nobody knows, including me, where that came from, because my father doesn't like sports. I was living in Winnipeg as a little kid. Of all the hockey rinks and the pucks and birds and balls, why a football? I have no idea, but it was football, and right from like this, I was fascinated by it.
As a teen, Bob's love for the game grew. His family moved from Winnipeg to Victoria, where he began playing football. It was then during a championship celebration where Bob watched an NFL film featuring the most feared man in football, Dick Butkus.
And here was this image of this guy smashing and crashing, and I was like, I'd never seen anything like that. And in actual fact, it was that different that nobody else had seen anything like that. And when he hit people, they went down in a hurry. And I don't know, there's something magical about that.
Inspired by the Chicago Bears linebacker, Bob began to draw, and with encouragement from his grade 9 art teacher, he spent most of his time sketching and selling pictures of sports athletes. After moving to high school, where his style of art was perceived more as a hobby, Bob quit art, and then football. And at the age of 16, he dropped out of school and didn't think about Dick Butkus for the next 35 years.
And I was teaching martial arts to literally thousands of people across the country. But it wasn't really my thing. I wound up in an odd place for me, which was in a yoga room. And what came from that was sort of an emptiness, which I suppose is the yoga thing, right? You empty yourself. But I really had, and I let go of perhaps something I'd been carrying for a long time. And I wound up back home in Victoria, coming back from Los Angeles. Sitting at my computer, I typed in eBay. Well, when I typed in eBay, a little screen comes up. And I don't really know what it says, but I took it to say, what do you want? And I immediately thought, I'm interested in Dick Butkus. And that was it. I started buying stuff.
Week after week, books, magazines, and other collectibles were delivered, and Bob would find himself immersed into the nostalgia of being a kid again. And then one day he discovered a photo he had had as a teen of the most feared man in football.
This picture here is in the middle of this magazine. It's the centerfold. And I looked at that and went, I want to draw that. And I went down to the Opus art store and said, I used to be an artist. I'd like to paint. It's a little embarrassing, but you have to start somewhere, right?
14 years later, Bob's paintings have transformed into a truly unique style of sport art, utilizing textures, color, and motion.
I want the art to move. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of different things going on in the painting that you only start to see when you get closer. And from a distance, you go, oh yeah, that's a realistic looking painting.
Painting isn't the only skill that Bob developed over the years. He's also a motivational speaker, an Emmy Award winner, and most recently the author of Finding Your Butkus, a playbook for success where he shares his unique story to inspire others to find their true purpose.
If my dream was a guy named Dick Butkus, how silly could your dreams be? When you do something from your heart, when you do something you truly believe in, for me it was the art, then it led to, well, I want to tell other people about this. I want them to experience this joy that I had. It's already in there. How can you unlock it? How can you be that 15-year-old child and get that enthusiasm and then put it across in an adult manner? Then people get excited because we're all kids at heart.